Okay, we'll start with an opening statement from Coach and then go into questions for players. Coach, when you're ready.
Well, I thought our young ladies really competed at an incredibly high level today, and it started on the defensive end for us. I thought their awareness of how we wanted to guard some different actions was at an all-time high. But then it's not just awareness, then you actually have to carry it out and you have to do it and you have to finish plays. And so I thought our awareness and our toughness to do those kind of things was the best that we've seen, and that's something that we have to continue to build upon. At the same time, I thought Penn State is really good at making you play sped up at all times. And I thought that this is probably the first game this season where I felt like there have been other games we didn't get sped up, but this was a game where we were not sped up and we attacked and we were in control and we finished. Now, those are a lot of things that have to happen all at the same time, but I thought our young ladies played a very, very good basketball game and I think understand the urgency that we need to play with on every possession, and we did that today. So that was an awful lot of fun. At the same time, our fans were incredible. They were really loud. Before the game even started, 6 minutes before the game, when the players came up on the floor, I was like, oh wow, this crowd's really into it, and started lineups. So I thought our crowd gave us a lot of energy, and it makes it a lot of fun to play, and so we certainly appreciate them coming out and supporting.
Ready for questions for players?
First of all, good to see you, Don.
Yeah.
How much, I would say you first, how much was the last Penn State game on your minds? I know, Tori, you didn't play in that one, but was it a little payback, maybe?
Yeah, I think it was on everybody's mind. Even the players who weren't here last year, they took it personal. So we all kind of took it personal, and we just remembered it throughout, prepping for them.
At the same time, Tori, you can comment on it. This is a complete different team almost. The way you guys obviously started the season, the confidence that you've been building on both sides of the ball. Can you talk about just how different maybe last year's team is to this year's team? Same, some of the same pieces, but a lot different. Go ahead, Tori.
Yeah, I think coming into this team, we have a lot of depth. So I mean, anyone's willing to step up, or anyone can step up. So that's obviously a plus. And everyone this year is willing to compete. We all compete during practice, and then it kind of shows on the court because we're all playing hard. We're all doing kind of what we do, and anyone can slide in or fill in, I guess. So yeah.
Defensively, as a team, how are you guys able to neutralize Merkel and Murray so well?
Yeah, those are both really good players. Definitely were highlighted a lot in the scout. So they were definitely a priority coming into the game, and I think our post players and everybody on the team did a great job of being intentional, trying to limit their shots, limiting their opportunities.
Tori, just being able to, you can't replace Mara, but at the same time, you kind of play your game in place of her. Just how have you grown during that time?
Yeah, I think honestly it's just my teammates just giving me the confidence just to do what I do. I mean, it kind of starts on the defensive end, and that kind of gets everyone going, but especially, and then it just carries over, and it seems to make everything falls afterwards. But yeah, Mara especially, she just talks to us during every huddle, everything, just continuing to build our confidence and honestly telling us what to do out there. So it's nice.
Tori, you've been in double figures now 7 games. So what motivates you to play so consistently well?
I would say, again, honestly, it's just my teammates, they're feeding me, they're giving me the passes that I need, and then again, they're just giving me the confidence. But at the end of the day, this team, it all starts on the defensive end. So when we get stops and when I can run in transition, when we can run in transition, it's just a great feeling.
How did it feel having a standing ovation at the end of the game?
I was not expecting that. I didn't know what to do, but it was great. So.
And then you guys are 9-0 at home. So how important is it to you to protect your home court?
Oh, super important, especially when all these fans come out. Definitely a really big fan presence today. Definitely appreciated it. So when we get all of our fans up in here, we want to defend home court, so they keep coming.
Just one more question for both of them. Just what did you guys learn from the Nebraska game, the first Big Ten game? It seemed like the way you guys have been playing before that was kind of not, it was kind of aberration a little bit.
Yeah, definitely learned some toughness, and kind of a reminder for people who were already here last year what it takes to play in the Big Ten, and then for people who weren't here last year what it's like to play in Big Ten. Unfortunately, we had to learn it that way, but it was a lesson we had to learn.
Yeah, I agree. It was obviously a lesson we had to learn, but it just like emphasized all the small things, like all the things that we need to do in practice, like the little things like getting it high soft, like sprinting to the free throw line, like as a shortstop and stuff like that. It was just like, it just reinforced all those things that we needed to like do.
Any more questions for players? Great.
Have fun, Tommy.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you.
Good luck.
Just piggyback on that, obviously the Nebraska game, just had to have that one on your belt, maybe have a game like this, right? I mean,
Well, I think we were playing well up until that point in time, and I thought Nebraska really out-toughed us in a lot of different ways. And so it's not just in rebounding, but rebounding is a key area, but it's in finishing, it's in doing little things well. And we took care of the basketball. I think we had 4 turnovers in the game, but we also got the ball around the rim a lot and didn't score efficiently, and we didn't offensive rebound well enough. And so, I think there's got to be a competitive edge to you to be a team that has success, whether at home in the Big Ten or on the road in the Big Ten. But when you go on the road, you have to have it at another level on top of that, and we didn't have that. And so now we go back on the road, and we have another opportunity to practice getting to that point in time, because we that's what you need. You need to play that way.
just talk about the defensive side. I know we had 2 guards up here,
Right.
but post play,
Right.
you kind of switched back and forth with Sophie and Annika. Was that kind of by design, and then did that frustrate, you think, Penn State center?
Well, I thought Merkel is such a good post player, and you have to kind of pick your poison, if you will, because you can't front her because we're not big enough to get to a lob pass. So that's an option that's taken off the table right away. So then you're kind of relegated to, you're going to play behind her, but if you play behind her, she's scoring at a 67% clip. She's 6th in the country in field goal percentage. So guarding her one-on-one is just going to be challenging, for a lot of players. And so our post players had to do a really good job of trying to gain position in a good way, but then we also had to be aware of where we were going to help from, and then also how do you help that next player. And so I think those are all areas where, Penn State's hard to guard, because at times you have Oden bringing the ball up the court. That's what they primarily do. But then other times you got Campbell bringing the ball up the court. And other times you have Murray bringing the ball up the court. And so what that means is now Tori's defending a different player because she starts our defense for us. And so now she's picking that player up. And so she has to understand what that player is looking to do and where you're looking to help. And are you fighting a handoff? Are you sliding underneath? What are you doing at that point in time? But then that also has a trickle-down effect, and now all of a sudden Maya has a different player she's guarding, and Grace has a different player she's guarding, or Mal has a different player. And so I think overall our attentiveness was at a very, very high level, because I thought our young ladies did a very good job of making life challenging to get the ball inside, but at the same time also did a good job of trying to make shots challenged for Murray, because she is such a key kid for them. And so I thought our attentiveness to that was really good. And now that has to continue, because different teams have different ways to attack, and so we have to be really aware in certain situations.
And with your schedule, leading up to the Nebraska game, had a lot of lopsided wins, and now you've got this time kind of winning the Big Ten. I mean, what does it tell you when you can translate the way you guys have been playing so efficiently and so well offensively to a Big Ten game like this?
Well, I thought we've had different games where we faced teams that pressured us and made us play fast and changed their defenses, and that's what Penn State does. And so, Penn State's a hard team to prep for, except that we had other teams on our schedule that we played against that did similar types of things. Obviously not a Big Ten team, but a team that, we made you feel uncomfortable, made you play sped up. And so I thought we translated some of the things that we learned against those teams. Now, when we played against those teams, whether it was Louisiana or Houston or SMU, we didn't score efficiently in those games. We didn't make shots around the rim. And so I thought Ani was a player who came in, and we got to the rim and she scored it efficiently at the rim early on. I thought she kind of got us going in a lot of those ways. And I thought our players were attentive. It's hard to kind of run plays, if you will, against Penn State, because they switch a lot of actions, and so that can take you, if you're saying I have to pass it from A to B and they take that pass away, then what are you going to do? And so I thought our players did a good job of spacing and reading, and sometimes they were switching and sometimes they weren't, and trying to make adjustments throughout the course of the game with some of those looks. And that's really good to see from our young ladies. I thought I think it was the third quarter, it was maybe the fourth quarter, we had a timeout, we missed 4 arc shots in a row, and we didn't have to shoot arc shots at that point in time. And so at the timeout, we talked about we can get that shot later in the shot clock. In the very next possession, we tried to attack the rim, and then late in the shot clock, Ani got an open 3, or I don't even know if it was that open, but she maybe got a contested 3 and made that one. And so understanding how to attack is equally as important, but then you gotta finish too. And if you don't finish, then you gotta get offensive rebounds. And so those are all things that we're still learning quite a bit of that at this point in time, but I thought we carried that out today better than we have all season.
With a performance like today, how do you guys balance celebrating this win, but also focusing on the challenges ahead, such as Wisconsin?
Well, I think it's important that our players have an opportunity to have some fun with this, because our young ladies played at a really high level. They really did. But now you have to get your bodies prepared, because it's a physical battle. And now we have to understand how to get ready and go on the road and then play well on the road. And that isn't something that we necessarily have done, and we've practiced it more this year. We had 4 contests, granted they're a neutral site, but we practiced doing that intentionally because we haven't been a team that's been really good on the road. And so, this is, now we have to be able to do this, but not in the comforts of the barn. And that's gonna be a challenge for us, and that's something that I think our players understand the urgency we have to play with, but are you able to do it in a different setting when you're not as comfortable? And that's something we have to learn how to do yet, and we haven't done that quite yet this year.
Any more questions for Coach?
Great, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.